Got 5:30 by the clock wall, so we will call our regular meeting to order with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Barwick.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Here.
Mayor Absher.
Here. Would one of our high school students like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight? Or do I have a volunteer? Young lady, how about you? Did you just volunteer? All right, go for it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you've got a copy of our agenda in front of you, you see we have a couple of special presentations during public comments, but before we get to those, I'll ask the public or any visitors if they'd like to speak to the council to do so. This is governed by a couple of different ordinances which are in the back corner of the room that limits time, subject matter, and demeanor. But if you'd like to speak to the council, please come up to the podium here and speak right into the microphone so everybody can hear you.
Thanks for listening to a problem that I feel like the Marion has occurred for me. It was the last couple of days. It's in regards to the push tax information. First off, as a Marion native, I feel that the city of Marion has grown leaps and bounds with tax incentives to help businesses, not hurt them. For example, the TIF district. It made Marion businesses grow in those areas. For the most part, all of Marion. Though I feel where there are not incentives to certain areas does not impact for out of business districts, but still a working city for Marion. So let's talk about the push tax, which is the 3-58-3-1. Since the push tax has been implemented in gaming facilities, all it has caused is the negative thoughts, not towards my business, but towards the city commissioners and the mayor, which is very hard for me to accept. I feel that the push customers away from smaller businesses and would go to other cities that does not push this type of tax that we're trying to survive since COVID. Since push tax was implemented in our neighboring counties, for example, Benton, Illinois, the city, which I have researched all this in the last few days, the city implemented it since 2021 for Benton. And in the last 6 months, the city has only made $6. The negative impact for $6 will hurt us instead of revenuing and monies for the city. For example, I own a log cabin, and since the machines have been placed, the change that as customers leave, it is always donated. I have donated to the Shop with a Cop 3 years. Not only that, if there's benefits, that money that I get from those cards that people leave 3 cents, 10 cents, goes straight to a in-need person, especially like rescue for animals. So I feel like that is taken away from me to help others when I'm not sure what the city's gonna do with these $6 for the 6 months that they may incur. Enough goes to, like I do the benefits. I just had one for a person that was out of work, and that $107 that I made off those machines off of people leaving change helped him. So I think it would help the business instead of the city. I'm not sure exactly, like I've been checking on reading the ordinances. We just got that signature for us to sign it on last Thursday. I was totally not unaware of this push tax. It was brought into the business with this to put, and I feel like it goes negative more towards the business because it's sitting there. They're not going to read all of it, where it's coming from, it's going towards me. I have had negative impact on it. They have literally read that and laughed and walked out. Not so much the regulars, but the people that are out of town, that are out of state. They've never heard that before, and I don't know why this is going on. But I'm hoping and I'm praying that maybe you guys the commissioners can at least look at it differently, since what I've concurred here of what's going on with other cities of reaching $6 I just feel like it's going to hurt us instead of help us. And I worry that this is trying to push customers more towards bigger things, casinos, which casinos have different rules as we do as gaming for our businesses. Same as, let's see, and online gaming. This has been such a headache for me to know online gaming is going to make money when we're trying to support Marion, and we do. The City of Marion gets a third of what I get every month, and that helps. I feel like this is going to hinder us. If everybody could at least consider this and just realize what it's doing now within the last 5 days for the City of Marion, I even like check on it to see if anybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're not. So why that ordinance, which I read, is so out of place. Like I'm getting charged for stuff, it doesn't happen. Like if I'm not keep policing it more or less, I'm getting fined. Or J&J Gaming is. I feel like that is not good for the city. And I feel like you've done so well. And to me, in the last 10 years for Marion, has grown. This is going to hurt us, our local business. I mean, if you can just look in the next month or two what you collect and see if this will make a change in your thoughts of this ordinance.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I give you some feedback?
Sure.
First of all, this is not new. This is an ordinance that was passed in 2021.
Okay.
So the state legislature in the fall of 21 allowed this tax.
Correct.
Many municipalities, including Marion, passed it, and then after a certain date, the state said they wouldn't allow it. In other words, another word for that is grandfathering it if we passed an ordinance by a certain point. You may understand it. First of all, I'm sorry that you're feeling pushback or angst over it, but I'm sure you understand it. But for those of you that listen to this, let me make sure that we put a scale to this so that everybody understands it. Push tax is the short form of that, and literally refers to the number of times. I thought of it like this with slot machines. I've never played one in my life, but apparently it's doing this. It's electronic. It's literally the number of times you wager. My understanding is the minimum wager is $2 and the maximum is $4, unless that's changed.
It is not.
All right, so let's put a scale to this. Somebody sits down at a machine, and do you happen to know what the average wager is between 2 and 4?
Usually it's 4.
Usually it's 4. Okay, so if you bet $4 at a time, you sit there for 100 times. You've bet $400. What this ordinance contemplates and asks is you put $1 in the till. 1 cent for every time that button is pushed. Now, nobody likes taxes. I get that. I don't either. I don't like gaming, and I wish it didn't exist. The reason I don't like it is because I find no economic benefit to the citizens of this town with it. I do find economic benefit to the business owners, and I don't begrudge them, including yourself, for having it. It does provide a substantial amount of revenue in tax and gaming permits to the City of Marion. Those latter 2 points is the only reason why I haven't recommended to this council that we do away with it altogether. Fun fact. Anybody like to make a guess on how much money was put in? $4, $3, $2 a time last calendar year in this city in the gaming machines? Would you like to wager?
I can imagine.
You
Just
got
by
a
the
guess?
numbers that I look every.
I love asking this question.
Well, I know what the businesses are bringing in.
Okay. Now,
But
this is
every
not
time
to
it
say that they
hits-
lost this amount of money. You know how it works. The machines, it appears to me, are pretty much programmed to return, or you win a certain percentage of it, you lose a certain percentage of it. But how much money? Does anybody in the room have a guess?
10 million, 15 million.
Okay. Anyone else? Young, smart people in the back of the room? Do you know what we're even talking about? The gaming machines that you see? Okay. Anybody else have a guess?
We'll go with 25.
25 what? Okay. So I got a 10, I got a 15, I got a 25, 25, 25. Anybody else? $139.3 million was put in those machines last calendar year. of which 92% or so was returned back out of the machine to the players, which implies that about between 8 and 9% of that was lost.
Right.
Another way of thinking of that is every time you put $1 in that machine, or $4 in your example, you'll lose about 9% of it. Okay? So how many ever times those were pushed, I don't know. But
Only
if it
the
was
game.
$4, that would represent about, at 1 cent a piece, that'd represent about $350,000 worth of revenue to the city if it's complied with. If it's not complied with, then we'll have to figure out what enforcement mechanisms we can take. It is the responsibility of the player to pay it, according to the ordinance. That's the same across every municipality that uses the same almost verbatim ordinance. The reason this is coming up now, I missed a step. In 2021, we enacted this ordinance. As you're probably well aware, your video terminal operators, which own the machines, and there's 4 of them that do business in the city of Marion. 4 companies own the machines, they place the machines. You don't have to pay for the machines, my understanding is, other than electricity.
No, I pay half.
You pay half or you get half of the revenue?
Well, I get half of the, or
You
not
didn't pay
half,
for the
yes,
machine though, right?
I pay for my part of the machines every
Okay,
year.
I stand corrected, but
Yeah.
you share in the revenue after the taxes with the video terminal operator. So there's 4 of those. They are responsible by ordinance of collecting this, and the player is responsible for playing it. They can scoff at it if they want. This is a privilege in the city of Marion to play these games and to have these games. In my humble opinion, not so humble I suppose, it provides little benefit. What are we going to do with the money? First of all, we haven't collected a dime of it yet. We haven't decided. I hope we carve a little bit off of it so that some people that need some help with gambling addiction can get it. Of the 5 of us sitting up here, I'm the only one that sat about 14 times with people that's come in here because they can't make the rent because they gambled their entire Social Security check in those machines on the day before. And why they decide to come up here next, I don't know. It's a heartbreaking conversation to have. It's a heartbreaking conversation to listen to, especially when you have no suggestions whatsoever to that constituent except don't do that anymore. It's not programmed for you to win, just like the buildings in Las Vegas, those great big ones, probably weren't built on winners.
No.
So if you can't tell, I have very little love lost for the gaming industry and for its presence in Marion, Illinois. I wish we could put that jack in the box, and frankly, if it didn't hurt your business and the other establishments that were already dependent on that river, because I know what the pitch is. I understand when the video terminal operator comes into a new business, what the pitch is. They can help pay your rent, they can pay your mortgage payment, it's just free money. All you got to do is to have this footprint sitting here, you just pay the electricity. I've heard that pitch. How do I know it? Because the moment that we allowed, first of all, you have to have a liquor license to have gaming machines. How would you think I know the pitch? Anybody else got a guess? Because the moment we allowed alcohol sales at the Civic Center, guess who called next? Wanting to know if we wanted gaming machines at the Civic Center. So I listened to the pitch. I'm well aware of what it is. And so anyway, I'm sorry this is hurting you. I'm sorry if that's reflecting poorly on you. This is not the only city this is happening in. What happened recently is that, as you can imagine, I keep skipping this explanation. Even though the ordinance was enacted in 2021, immediately the video gaming terminal operators filed suit in several different municipalities, not ours, but basically we all have identical ordinances with identical provisions in them, and they were challenging everything under the sun about those provisions. Those have wound their way through the circuit courts, through the appellate court, and then to I think just the appellate court, right, Wendy? Okay. There were multiple ones. We were all basically kind of waiting to see how those got resolved and see if the courts weighed in the video terminal operators' favor or if in the municipalities. To date, after almost 4 years, with all those challenges, they have weighed in the favor of the municipalities as to the validity and constitutionality of this tax. So that's the why of now, is it just took that long for that stuff to wind through the courts. We passed it It's my duty to enforce it. And if the council feels differently about it after we have some experience with it, then we can consider that. I'm sorry that it's causing you turmoil, but that's the why and the when of it. And I just thought it would be important to explain that. So, but I will say there's some support on this council to do away with gaming altogether in this city. That'd be an awfully hard pill to swallow, but for our business owners that depend on that revenue, I suppose. But any argument that other than that it's supporting those businesses, $139 million people put in these things, $3 or $4 at a time, is an absurd amount of money to me. And I just can't imagine that it's doing that general person that is doing that any good. So now I've got on my soapbox, and I'll get off. But
Okay.
You brought it up. Just remember.
I appreciate it, and I'm just afraid what may happen in the next 6-7 months over it.
Well, I understand that. And as far as Benton, I don't know what their metrics are. You said they've been enforcing it for a while, and you
Yeah.
researched that. I don't know anything about it. I will say that if they've only collected $6, then they're just simply not enforcing the ordinance. We will enforce the ordinance, and what that means is our remedies, if the appropriate amount is not collected, we do have the ability to have a hearing with the video terminal operator and or the gaming establishment, and we can suspend the use of the machines.
Okay.
So I'm sorry you don't like it. I'm sorry somebody's got to put in $1 for wasting 400, but so be it.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Anyone else before we have the presentations? We've got 2. Anyone else like to speak to the council? Okay, we've got, looks like on the big screen here, our much anticipated but once delayed goldfish taste off by the Marion High School, is it marketing class?
Yes.
Okay, so come on up, led by fearless leader Dr. Farner.
Not fearless, we're just playing with goldfish.
Okay.
Their education dollars. So, good evening. So I'm Dr. Farner, and I teach business at the high school. And our marketing class, before they tell on me, we snacked a lot on goldfish. All right. So the conversation came about is, well, what's your favorite? What's the school? So then we decided to take on a semester-long project. And actually, the final step of it will be their final for this semester, was to find the City of Marion's favorite goldfish. We reached out to Mayor Apsher with our scientific research idea, and he said, let us know what you need. So I'm going to let these 3 students introduce themselves. They are 3 of 12 that participated. I will say there were other business students that helped pack, and they recruited along the way. But for the most part of it, these are the 3 faces that are going to tell you tonight a little bit about it and reveal to you what the winner is. Okay.
So I'll start off by saying that my favorite flavor of goldfish is the cupcake one, so I was a little disappointed in that. But my name is Callie Wallace, and I'm a sophomore, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Before I start, I would like to say that my favorite flavor of goldfish is pretzel. Come on, it's the best. Oh yeah, I'm Logan Mestis.
My favorite goldfish flavor is the cheddar blast one, and my name is Shakira Humphrey.
Okay, so like she said, this started off one day when we started just talking about how we wanted more snacks in class and how we really would like some goldfish in that moment. And the next day we came back and Dr. Farner had goldfish waiting for us, which I thought was just incredible. And we started talking, we're like, well, what's your favorite flavor? What's your favorite flavor? And we started doing research, and there's over 10 regular flavors. There's obviously some limited edition ones, but there's 10 that stay out constantly. And so then we started thinking we want to know what the school's favorite flavor is, and then what the City of Marion's favorite flavor is.
So giving an overview of the project, we started researching one day when our teacher brought in goldfish. Obviously, we started asking each other, oh, what's your favorite flavor? What's your favorite flavor? And then it kind of spiraled, and then we decided that we wanted to have our final do something with goldfish. So we launched the goldfish campaign, trying to figure out the City of Marion's favorite flavor. So, all right. So we achieved some things such as, developing marketing skills, because, we are a marketing class for social media. We engage with the community, such as Mayor Absher and other businesses. And an educational and fun experience was big for us.
So we traveled different schools. On March 6th, we went to the All Elementary School, Lincoln, Longfellow, Washington, Jefferson, and Adams. On March 7th, we engaged with the City Hall. We engaged with the Parapet, Granny Puppet, and the City Hall. We're doing this right now. On March 8th, the student went to Black Diamonds to see what is their favorite goldfish flavor, and we did different taste tests over there. On March 18th, I see, we supposed to did a school board meeting, but I think they canceled on that. We did that. Okay. On March 19th, we went to 15 different classes at MHS and let the student vote for our goldfish. Then April 26th, we in here right now doing the big review of their favorite goldfishes.
I would like to say those brown bags that you see, the students literally packed, the picture showed. They literally packed 10,000 samples of those little cups. So, and they went back through and stickered them all. So we put a lot of work and stuff into the project.
So we had a few ways that you were able to vote. For the elementary schools, we did paper pencil surveys. So we had little sheets of paper with all the flavors and colors that they got to circle, and then we hand entered them. And then for Granny Puckets and here, we did online surveys, so everyone was able to scan it and submit their own through there. And we obviously pushed this out heavily on social media. You can watch all of our videos on the MHS high school page on TikTok, and I believe they're also on Facebook and Instagram. So up there we have our 10 flavors that we tested, and we made a bunch of different sticks. Like she said, we packed 10,000 little cups and then put them in bags with labels and everything. And we definitely learned a lot while doing this, and it was a fun time. I will say we did have fun doing all of that.
So our results and outcomes. So we came up with a total of 1,200 votes throughout all the places that we went to, so with the elementaries and the actual businesses. So we were planning on sharing the results through social media. So our outcomes were hands-on experience, so in marketing research, because we got to figure out, a school like that, and the hands-on was just us packing the goldfish and stickering them, and it was brutal. It took forever. I think it took a week and a half. We're better at data collection and analysis skills. The high school has better relations with businesses and schools, and increased engagement in real learning projects.
So this is our big review right now. So Cheddar Blast is the winner of the Goldfish Taste Off.
These bags are compliments of our Ben Harrison, our route rep for Pepperidge Farms.
This is the winner. Thank you.
So overall, I'd just like to say for the students, they did a lot of work on this project. We were able to literally just kind of take the curriculum and turn it to, when we wanted to do research skills, they had to find out all about Pepperidge Farms, where they started, where the flavor started, and all the research on that one. And then they were responsible for a school, so each one of them had to reach out to a school. We did a kindergarten at every school, and then randomly a class, maybe 5th grade at Lincoln, 4th grade at Washington, and that type of stuff. We did 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe, at Adams. But they were fully responsible for engaging with those teachers, planning it, getting their samples packed and things like that. They are also the ones that attended some of them attended at Black Diamond and set up out there and gave up a Saturday to do that. And also got out to the community in that. So, as I said, these are 3 of them. There's 12 of them overall, and I totally can't say how proud of them all for doing it. And if they want to take an opportunity to say anything else before we close it up, but they do have a video ready, so tomorrow we'll release, since we released to you what the favorite goldfish flavor is, we'll release it on social media.
Can we ask you questions?
Yeah.
So I have one. Did you notice in your research, is there a difference on this based upon the age group that's tasting it? Like, do older adults like one flavor, younger ones like this flavor?
Absolutely. All of the younger kids, like at the elementary schools, I think the most popular flavors were cinnamon roll and vanilla cupcake, and then our adults were the ones that voted for like Frank's and cheddar blast and stuff like that. But there's definitely a difference in the age groups on which they voted.
Okay.
And pizza was a Black Diamond. For some reason, pizza took off at Black Diamond on that. And we will say, I really push for Frank's, because it's my favorite, but we didn't put the Frank's sample in for the grade schools, the Frank's Red Hot. So, but yeah, definitely, we found some other flavors no one really cared for, so on. And we did allow a spot for others, for people to write in others that were out there, because we know there's tons of other flavors and stuff there.
I'll be honest, this is the only goldfish I ever knew.
Yeah.
With my kids.
Yeah.
But now that I know there is Frank's Red Hot Goldfish out there,
They're also-
I know where I'm going right after this meeting.
Do you know that's not the original goldfish, though? Okay, tell us.
It looks like it, but
There's an original that's just a cracker, like a saltine cracker, but in a
really,
goldfish form.
I'll say
Yeah.
that. This is
We didn't realize that either.
Wow.
So where do you find the other flavors?
These flavors you can actually pretty much find out on shelves everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, so we did have, some people really questioned because of it, but we had a fund kind of set aside for some CT that kind of kicked it off in doing it. And then we actually were able to get connected with our route, the guy that owns the route in this area. And he brought us some samples to set up Black Diamonds, and then he furnished the samples for you guys for tonight,
Huh.
for the winning thing of doing that, so. But no, you can buy all those, so,
So what does other taste like? What is other?
well, what were some other flavors?
Yeah,
S'mores was another one.
Oh, really?
I heard they released something like Harry Potter one.
Yeah, there was a Harry Potter one, like a butter beer or something that
Yeah.
got released the day that we
Wow.
started the campaign.
Wow.
So that's the reason we left room for other, because you literally couldn't put all the special
Yeah,
ones and
yeah.
stuff on there. So, but every one of those cups they packed had 2 goldfish each in them. And they all had 10 samples in them, except the grade schools all had 9 samples, because I said we didn't take the Frank's Red Hot to the grade school.
were the tasters allowed to cleanse their palate in between each flavor? Because I'm afraid if you started with
Some of the
like
high school students did
with
it,
Frank's
but-
and you worked your way down, you might just lose it on everything.
We tried to like
Tastes the same.
tell people to end with Frank's. Like
Okay,
taste.
I got you.
But you'll have to go get some now.
Yeah.
Oh,
They'll become your new grader.
Yeah.
He's going to Kroger after the
I'll
meeting.
go somewhere.
Guarantee it.
Yeah, so. we
In
said
fact,
we
I
wonder what happened to
you
goldfish.
could DoorDash this right now, buddy.
Is there any other questions anybody has?
No. Sounds like a fun thing.
Yeah.
We'll try with it, we appreciate you just letting us go with it.
Yeah.
Great job, guys.
Rachel is, yeah,
Yeah.
Rachel wants to take a picture with everybody. Is that
Okay,
okay?
yeah, that's
Should I
fine.
take away if I stand right here?
I guess
No.
we can. Guess we'll just stand behind you. Is that all right?
Hold up your
Since they-
winning bags. Hold it, get up your winning bags.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all
Good.
very much.
Good work, guys.
I thought we were going to get the taste test on too.
Well, we were going to, but then the spring sports and everything got in the way
Oh.
of trying to.
I see where we rank. That's okay.
So, but we did bring the taste test to City Hall.
What was that?
So we had pictures up there because the fire department came through, police department came through, so we had taste test.
They never made us
Hey,
stairs.
They-
free-
yeah, they were from
Free
Monday
food?
through
They're gonna be here.
So,
Okay.
Tell me about it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Okay, next we have a presentation by representatives from Horner Schifrin.
First of all, I think I have to apologize, we didn't bring any snacks, so we just brought a plaque. But my name's Steve Donahue, President of Horner Schifrin, Brian Ziegler and Joe Zdenkiewicz of our firm. As you know, in the fall of last year, we entered the Marion Square project with your blessing into the American Council of Engineering Companies Engineering Excellence Awards. And at the gala in February in Chicago, the project won an honor award, which they give out 3 levels of awards, and this project won the highest level at an honor award. And as 2 surprise awards, also won the Judge's Choice Award for Transportation, as well as Best Graphics. So we brought the plaque that they give the owner to display, and we also made this board so you can memorialize the project. And we just wanted to extend our thanks for being able to work on this project. You know, as engineers, this is the type of projects we really enjoy working on. A lot of the projects we work on, they're kind of behind the scenes, and the general public maybe they get the benefit, but they don't realize they're getting the benefit. When they turn on their faucet and the water comes out, they enjoy that they have clean water, but they don't realize all the work that went into it to get the clean water. But this project here is something that's visible, it's tangible, it's a reminder of a forward-thinking council that wants to invest in downtown and revitalize the area. I think this project, as well as many others, has helped to energize downtown. It's palpable, the energy, and dare I say, contagious. So we hope that this project is a piece of that growth. And I did want to point out, Josie is our project manager on this. This project was a complex project. It's not maybe a grand bridge over the Mississippi, but this was a complex project that Joe had to juggle funding constraints, funding requirements, schedules, details, and some design that civil engineers don't normally get involved with. And Joe handled it to where you probably didn't realize he was juggling all those balls at the same time. So we're really glad he was leading this project. So I'd like to present you with this plaque, and then you can hang this board at a place of your choosing, and hope there'll be opportunities in the future to work on similar exciting projects.
You know what the very best part of the whole thing is?
What's that?
It was done on time
And under budget.
and under budget.
That's what we want.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. Man, I will, from Cody and my standpoint, who kind of watched it real time all day long, every day, I will say I concur of how the minutia of, oh, there's a water line where we didn't know there was a water line, and this puddle formed in a part of the pavement that wasn't planned, and had to figure that piece out. It was an incredibly complex project, and in the meantime, still had to figure out how to move 8,000 cars, 9,000 cars a day through the project. That was quite a feat, and I think you guys and all the subcontractors, Samron included, managed it brilliantly. So I'm glad you won the award. I think you deserved it.
Thank you.
Yeah, good deal. Would you like to get your picture with us or not?
Yes, they would.
Okay. Why don't you guys, I meant for those young people to come up here, and then they didn't. So why don't you guys come on up here, and we'll do it with the city logo in the background.
Are you ready?
Can you see the bottom of this thing, or is it obscured?
I can see it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, congratulations.
You know it's our project, and I'm proud of you guys for winning it. Good job.
Proud of the project.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's great. Great job. Good job. Great job. You want to go first? Congratulations, Steve.
Oh, you're gonna, okay, that's fine. Don't, okay. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item number 4 on the agenda, which is our consent agenda. Consists of just 2 items tonight, A and B. Anybody on the council want to vote on any of these items separately outside of the consent agenda? Anyone from the audience want either of these items voted upon with a separate vote? Hearing no objection, I'd entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented, please.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda A and B as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion, questions on either of these items? Correction to the minutes? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. New business, item number 5, got 4 important items tonight, so Commissioner Patton, you're up.
I'm going to defer to Lance and let him go over this if he likes.
Okay. This is on item A, specifically authorizing revision of the fiscal year 25 annual budget, right?
Correct. So we look at FY '25 annual budget compared to actual expenditures and revenue. If we've overspent in any, overspent over the budget in any department, we basically amend the budget to account for that over expenditure. And then we also will, any revenue that's substantially increased, we'll amend the budget for that. So basically have Exhibit A in your packet that shows the line items that were increased for the budget. This is a requirement. We have to do this because we can't spend more than we budget for, so they allow for an amendment, and that's what we do at this time every year.
So basically, the amendment is just simply the revision of the actual versus what we projected at the beginning of the year. We're going to do that each year. Okay, someone like to make a motion on 5A, please?
Thank you, Lance. I would recommend that we adopt or make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-06, authorizing revision of the FY25 annual budget.
I would second that.
Okay, any questions, comments on item 5A? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 5B, Doug?
I would like to make a motion to approve Ordinance 4033 adopting the FY26 annual budget. We just had a hearing at 5 o'clock.
I'll second that.
Okay, you want to just briefly go over the high-level numbers just for the benefit of the public here?
Well, you want me to go over the process a little bit as well?
Yeah, that'd be
Sure.
great.
Okay, so back in early January, the process begins. LaDonna starts by updating all the budgeted salaries, benefits, payroll costs, and health insurance. Then I roll out access to the budgets to each department head so that they can start their input on their various line items. And we also, have them put in detail if there's any like specific needs to see if we can have the funds to make those purchases. Cody and I both start reviewing independently each department's budgets, and then we meet with the larger departments. We meet with the department heads and the commissioners to go over various items, make sure that their needs are being met within the revenue projections. And then in early April, we post the budget for public viewing. We have a meeting for them to announce that, and then tonight we'll pass that if there's no comments or questions. And as always, the budget has a surplus this year of just about $37,000. Our total citywide expenditures will be just under $80 million for next year. That's what we budgeted.
Okay. First and second, right? You guys have any questions? Particularly of Lance or Cody for that matter? I think Cody's turned into the assistant budget director.
We're co-budget directors.
Co-budget, oh, well, that's even more
New
important
business
sounding.
cards.
Lance did a great job.
Yeah. seems like this process goes on forever. A third of our budget year is setting the budget for the next year. It's a long, tedious process, but at least from my vantage point, everybody worked well together, and there's a lot of guesswork in a budget. Trying to predict revenues a year out is difficult, and so obviously it's very collaborative in that regard, and still guesswork at the end, which is why you have to revise the budget at the end of the year, because it wasn't exact. It's just the nature of it. So, any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 5C. Doug?
We basically got basically a request from the chief for purchasing 7 new police vehicles. We contacted local banks to see if they were interested in financing them. And as a result, First Southern was the apparent low bidder. So it would be my recommendation to approve ordinance 4035, authorizing a loan agreement with First Southern Bank for purchasing 7 police vehicles.
Second that.
Okay, any questions? How many banks typically bid? Or do you reach out to, I guess, is what?
I reach out to generally 5 banks.
Do we usually get bids from 5?
We get all,
We do?
all 5 banks.
And that was the case this time?
Well, one of them did respond after a few days.
Okay, but 4, we got 4 competitive bids on this. All right,
What the interest rate end up being?
sorry?
What was the interest rate?
265?
Yeah.
You want, I'd like to borrow some at 265.
Yeah.
Nobody asked.
Yeah. 265.
Is that right, 265?
Yeah. 265.
Okay. I always forget. I don't know why I can't keep track. Do that first and second?
Yeah.
You just start nodding when I look over, okay? Chief, this is these 7 are our planned, taking those 7 out of service. We're taking 7 out of service, and then, I mean, this is our replenishment, right? I mean,
Yes,
this
sir.
is,
Now, the 7 we're replacing are over, most of them are almost over 120,000 already.
and we have not yet determined how we're disposing of those, I take it?
We believe that Jim Hayes is probably willing to buy all of them.
Okay. I know sometimes we keep them for spare parts and stuff and rob them till they're our cars no more.
We haven't decided 100% if we need to keep one to do that, but
Okay.
Lieutenant Dwyer's working on that.
So we're reaching out to, you said Jim Hayes, about getting us a bid?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 5D.
Similar to what we just did, we are authorizing a loan. We needed to finance a new 2025 F Ford 250 for the fire department to replace basically a similar type truck. If I understand it right, I believe it has some fire equipment on it, or needs to put on it, I think.
They ordered it through Vogler. We're going to be voting on that
Okay.
next. There's the invoice. for
Yeah.
it.
So it would be my recommendation, or make a motion to approve ordinance 4036, authorizing a loan agreement with First Southern Bank for purchasing a 2025 Ford F-250 for the fire department.
I would second that.
And we financed that for 3 years at the same interest rate, 265.
Anticipated your question there, Mr. Fox.
Oh, 5? Says 3.
5 years?
5 years? 5 years. Scratch that.
Okay. You're not nodding. Okay. All right, any questions on 5D? Same process, 5 banks, Okay.
Actually, with that one, that request came right after I got first one, the previous one, and I just had to basically tack that one on.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay?
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 6A, this one bridges departments, I guess. So we voted to borrow money to buy this one.
I have a question before we go. On that previous ordinance 4035 for the police vehicles, were those for 3 years or for 5 years? There were 5 also?
They're 5.
We need to change that on this ordinance.
Yeah.
It's listed
Tammy,
as
can
3.
you?
Both ordinances. Should I?
Yeah, I can.
I think we can change. I'll ask, where's Wendy? Do you have a problem with us just instructing the clerk to, that's a scrivener error in this ordinance? No. Okay. And that's in both 4036 and
And 35.
Yeah.
4035?
Here, I'll be sure that change gets made when it comes to you for signature.
Okay.
Okay, we good? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a new F-250 from Vogler Ford. It's a budgeted item. This is replacing the 2002 F-250 that was in service at the fire department. It's going to be going to EMS. William Barrett's going to be driving that instead of them having to buy a vehicle. They'll use this 2002.
Okay.
I'll second that. If we need it.
Do we know if
Did you make a motion?
Yes.
Hayes bid, I know they've been bidding on police vehicles. Did they bid on this fire truck too? Don't know.
They did.
They did?
They bid with Hayes and with Vogler.
Hayes and Bowen?
And
This was
Vogler
lower?
was just a little bit cheaper, $47,869.
Okay. Any questions on 6A? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 7 in the police department, 7A. Commissioner Barwick?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a new radio repeater system to be installed at the Marion High School and the Marion Junior High School. The total cost for both repeaters is $34,839.82, and it will be split between the City of Marion and the Marion Unit 2 School District, and this was a budgeted item.
I would second that.
Split evenly? Is it split
Yes.
evenly?
Yes, sir.
Do we have an intergovernmental agreement
Not yet.
on that, or will we? Yes? Okay. That was my question.
As of right now, we just have Becky was very great to work with on this, and she said, this is a safety issue. Absolutely, the school district will split this with you.
This is because of our, I think we had some dead spots in around the grounds, right?
Yeah, in the last couple of years, it's gotten really bad in both schools to where our officers, when they're in there, the radios can't get out. Dispatch can't hear them, they can't hear each other. So it's becoming a real safety issue.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay?
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Under Public Works, item 8, we've got 2 items. Item A, let's see, this is sewer, so Commissioner Steckland.
All right, so I would like to make a motion to approve an estimate from Scuda Construction for a sewer main extension along Jefferson Street, paid using available hub TIF funds.
I'll second that. Okay. Any, you got this estimate for $24,425 in your packet. Any questions on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay?
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 8B.
All right, again, I'd like to make a motion to adopt IDOT Resolution 2025-07 for constructing, occupying, and maintaining an 8-inch water main along and under Illinois Route 37 at Long Street Road for Protect Communications.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Where'd you say it was again, John?
Out at Long Street, the VFW road out there, Protect at 37. And IDOT will construct that. We will not.
we just have to,
We have to approve it.
okay.
As a matter of fact, it states in there that we are not authorized to do any work.
Does this have to do with their roundabout that they're doing there? IDOT's doing? It's what-
Probably.
Is it relocation? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's
Basically.
what it is, because Project was getting, note the line that currently feeds Project.
I forgot Brian sitting back there.
Protect's got some bigger tanks and stuff, they like to build it, what's called the water mains on the other side of Route 37. And they just have a small service line that runs over there, so they worked it out where the water department should run a main to get to the west side of the road, so they can access the bigger main and get the water. Let's talk about splitting up that land sometime in the future as well too, so the water main would already be on the west side.
So this is a water main, not a sewer main extension then?
For the Protect, yes.
Yeah. It's a water main.
Well, we've got sewer main listed in the, that's what I was confused, I guess.
No, look at B. It says an 8-inch water main.
Yeah, mine says water.
Oh, I'm looking at the, dang it. Child labor.
Here.
Thank you.
Sugar that.
Sorry about that. My bad. Okay, any other questions? Smart ones, maybe, instead of dumb ones like I just asked? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, item 9, economic development. We've got 3 items. The first one is a amending TIF redevelopment ordinance with JM Vision. That's for this beautiful new building back here on Jefferson Street. What's going on in this agreement, Cody?
In his initial application, he had asked for about $175,000 in rehabilitation costs. They ended up having to add on to that building, which pushed his costs northward as well. So this only amends the total amount that he would be eligible for reimbursement, because that's this total investment in the property, up to $423,000 from the original, I believe, $175 that was in there originally.
Okay. I'll move to approve ordinance 4034, amending a redevelopment agreement with JM Vision LLC.
Second that.
Okay, any questions on this? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 9B, I think we discussed this a little bit last meeting relative to the pedestrian crosswalk that IDOT is planning on the west side of the halfway road, east side of the halfway road intersection
And north.
and north. So we talked about that quite a bit last meeting, but we have to participate in that. They require this resolution to be voted upon and signed if approved. Our cost is $19,830 of about a almost $600,000 project, it sounds like, which includes, I think, more lighting,
It does,
which
that will be an 100% ongoing cost of the city.
for us to, yes, to supply the electricity, but, excuse me, electricity, but not to put the light standards and such. So anyway, that's what this resolution is about, and that's my motion to approve Resolution 2025-08, pledging the city's support for a pedestrian crosswalk project at the intersection of Route 13 and Halfway Road.
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions on this resolution?
I have one. Out in the middle, is that going to be enhanced the size it is now? The little median out there? Will it be widened?
Yeah, because
That's
that
your
will-
refuge.
That will be what they call an area of refuge
Yeah.
for pedestrians.
Well, that's what I was asking,
Yeah.
because it's very narrow right now. Like,
Well-
if you put 10 people out there, somebody's standing in the street.
I don't think we'll ever see a big group of 10 people cross. I mean, it could happen,
Mhm.
but you're not going to get people backed up there like you might out here on the square. Originally, they weren't planning that at all. So in the newest set of plans, that is going to be included, a widening of that to allow for, like I said, an area for pedestrians to pause for a moment.
I think that's a great idea. During our World Series, several of the kids, several of the teams cross that intersection and go wherever they go. But yeah, it's, in fact, B of that agreement basically says construct islands with ADA ramps, excuse me, and pedestrian refuge in the southeast, northeast, and northwest quadrants. So, yeah.
They're high roll.
We witnessed the other night, we were actually in the drive-through at Panda Express, and two buses, I'm guessing it was SIU, not SIU, but teams
Somebody's flying,
visiting,
yeah.
pulled into Sam's, and they unloaded, and kids ran all the way down to Chick-fil-A. They were going in there, they were going in that, but a bunch of them crossed over and went over to Burger King and places over there, and it was dark, it was at night. They were just running across their team. I'm like, oh Lord.
Any idea when they will start this project?
I do not, outside of, what I understand is it's on the June letting, so it could be as soon as July.
I sure hope the lighting is sufficient for this. That's going to be the critical thing, in my opinion, because to your point about it being dark, this is a rough intersection for us.
And
It really is.
It's also 45 miles an hour through there, so
Yeah.
I tend to question whether they're going to, that's the recommended speed limit through there. I tend to think that they may look at that in the future as well, because it's going to be a hard situation.
Well, okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Okay, Cody, tell us about 9C here so we understand what we're voting on.
Okay, so with the Star Bond project off and running and construction underway and more to come, we recognize that there's likely to be some traffic issues moving forward with the influx of visitors to the area. In order to combat that, we recognize that we need to perform a traffic study. There has been one performed previously about 3 years ago by the same firm that I'm presenting to today, CMT, Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley. What we're asking of that firm is that they update their existing study with obviously changes that have happened to the original plans that were submitted 3 or 4 years ago, that they update those, that traffic study. In this proposal as well is their work to complete an application on the city's behalf for safety money through a federal grant program that would allow for what we anticipate would be the need that the study will find for a roundabout at the intersection of Williamson County Parkway and Walton Way. So right there at that intersection, Commissioner Stecklin, that you were speaking of, as people ran west on Joseph Cannon Way, that would be the intersection that we anticipate will need the roundabout installed. There is a concern as well as far as traffic on the north side of 13. The study will take that into consideration, specifically regarding the impact of families traveling to and from the sports complex. We've worked with the operator of the sports complex, and they're going to communicate that folks should exit the sports complex headed north on Sioux Drive, west on Campground Road, and hit Route 13 via Skyline Drive. So the idea is that we will try and divert traffic north and west to access Route 13 rather than south directly through Williamson County Parkway, 17th Street, that area. So the goal there is that, excuse me, everyone coming into the sports complex and leaving the sports complex will travel that route and alleviate some of the concerns there just south of the complex. So this study takes into consideration all of those facts. They will make their findings. Again, we anticipate that would include the the need for a roundabout on the south side of Route 13 at that intersection I mentioned. And this application contemplates that study and what we anticipate will be a future application for some grant money to assist with that project.
Okay, I would entertain a motion here from somebody, please.
I should mention as well that the development team have agreed to split the cost of this study with us, as well as the cost of submitting the application.
Will we pay from that from our
Starbond
administrative funds?
Yes.
Okay, so this will not hit the general fund budget? Okay.
Yes, I'd make a motion to approve a traffic study and grant application agreement with Crawford and Murphy and Tilly. Cost to be split with a Millennium Destination Development.
Second that.
Okay, any discussion?
The good thing, usually those safety grants are 90%. They used to be. I don't know if they still are.
They are.
Yeah.
One of the things that they cautioned us on is that there haven't been any serious accidents at that intersection. Glenn Clarida has primarily been working on this project for us, but he said that CMT specifically has a really good track record on those applications as a whole, and that even with no serious crash data there, they're still confident that they can hopefully procure some funds for us to help build that new intersection.
I would suspect that this will reveal some other potential areas that will need some updating as well.
Yeah.
Intersections, possible roundabouts at four-way stops now.
It's likely.
Yeah.
There was a roundabout studied on that intersection before, and that concept was approved by IDOT. I don't believe they're going to accept anything but a roundabout at that intersection, given its proximity to Route 13.
Right.
So again, we don't anticipate a different prescriptive solution there. And like I said, IDOT has already approved that in concept, but we have to go through this step again, given updated plans, updated traffic counts, and the like.
How far east and west does this traffic study include?
Skyline Drive on the west,
Yeah.
And on the east would be Halfway Road.
Which is the truck stop? Hucks?
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I would suspect some interior arteries or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm sure will be impacted by this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, providing that the people will come after
Right.
after it's built,
Right.
and I'm sure they will. Yeah, I think it's a good step.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Okay. Okay, on item 10A, you'll see in your packet a bid from Bicy Keyboard for a mobile outdoor stage. We have started sponsoring using the square now that it's complete, as is recognized by the award we had earlier, or that Warner-Schifrin had earlier. Concerts and different things. We'd frankly do more if we had this item, which is a mobile outdoor stage. This may not get us completely from having to rent one, because this one does not have a canopy over it. But that'll probably be fewer and far between when we need that one. But we think we'll pay for this in 9 or 10 uses from what we have to rent these for. So that's my recommendation. And we budgeted for this year out of the project fund, $34,000.
Perfect price.
Huh?
That's off the internet. It's exact. So I'm glad we're getting a local. That's the exact stage.
For that amount?
Yeah, but that is the amount. It's on it. It's exact. That's why I'm saying it's the exact amount.
Oh,
I'm
it sure
glad,
is.
I'm glad we're going local.
Oh. Mr. Stecklin just pulled up on the internet the exact same price that we're paying this for. He was pointing that out. So $11,824, which is the the first line. We're actually getting 2 of those platforms, 16 by 24, it looks like. But anyway, we think, yes, it's an expenditure, but when we rent these things, it's more hidden, so to speak. And we think we'll be better off in the long term. And probably by this time next year, we will have utilized, maybe in 2 years, I don't know exactly. But sometimes we have an opportunity to have someone up here singing or performing or doing something, and we just don't have a place for them to stage.
We've got a wooden structure now, which is great, but it's not substantial enough. This is a little more legitimate.
Yeah.
Will this be portable enough to use other locations in the city?
With the right trailering?
Yeah, you'd have to trailer it.
Yeah. But I looked at, it says it's a cart. I didn't know how mobile this was to transport.
We would just have to trailer.
Yeah. Because I've talked to Jared out at the pavilion too about that stage. If you've ever seen that stage that we have out there, they're wood, and it takes 8 guys to move them.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got a trailer, the street department, that we could load this on. Should be able to be.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Our plan was to leave it stored up here.
Yeah, that's fine.
But,
That's fine.
so we'd have
There's
to-
just times where instead of, again, renting a stage for things out there,
Yeah.
thinking stuff for the chamber dinner, for the
Yeah.
certain things, you could use that.
That was going to be a question I had, storage-wise. I'm assuming we're going to keep it up here.
Yeah, so we purchased a few meetings back this building that we still haven't actually, we voted to purchase.
Right.
We haven't closed on it yet. But this building that's back here that Doug Bradley owned is ideal for storage of this and the van. So it's going to be perfect proximity to both the Civic Center and the square. So
Good deal.
as far as the pavilion, it's just going to be a matter of getting it out there.
And I'm assuming it's aluminum, right?
It is.
Yeah. And it's weatherproof.
Yeah.
You get a picture of that still up? Oops, there's like 2 of these.
They're 4x4 sections that clamp together.
Okay.
Nice and portable. And the lights are adjustable, so you can make it different heights.
What's the dimensions? I'm just curious.
They're both 16 by 24.
Yeah.
16 by 20.
So
So
2
what?
of them. So you can put together
So
one big
32
one.
by 48?
You can make a big one or 2 smaller ones. Something like
Math.
that.
Math.
Or make a real long, narrow one. 4 foot by 64.
So again, it's optional if you guys don't feel it's needed. I just think it'd be a good return on our investment. We're basically paying it anyway, just over several small times, and after a year or 2, I think we'll be far to the better than what we've been doing. So therefore, it's my motion to approve the purchase of a mobile outdoor stage for use by the Civic Center and the pavilion, and anybody else that we might, in the cited city apparatus that might need to, from Biassy Music and Sound, for a total of, including all the clamps, cart, skirting, for $34,644.55.
Second that.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay?
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 10B, last 2 items on the agenda are other housekeeping items that are related to the budget passage. Each year by ordinance, we have to appoint, starting May 1st through April 30th, which is the end of our fiscal year, all department heads. I think we've read all these in the past. I know I did the first night I was sworn in, but since there are no changes in all department heads, congratulations, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Since there's no changes, I think I'll forego over the interest of time. There's about 20 employees listed here. But that's what ordinance 4037 is, which is approving current and future department heads in the city of Marion for fiscal year 2026. And that's my motion to approve.
Second that?
Any questions? Did you want to take the chief out before we vote? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Gave me a little bit of a scare there, Esther. I think he was thinking about it.
Well, he didn't invite us when they brought the goldfish up
Yeah.
here, so.
Yeah.
It was like,
It's no respect.
we'll see how that happens
Yay.
next year.
All right, similar to item 10C, again, just part of our budget process, which these raises for non-bargaining unit employee salary adjustments. We try to keep up with at least cost of living and such each year. We've been provided a list of those and the impact, but again, that's included in the budget that we've already approved. But by routine, we want to approve non-bargained employee salary adjustments as listed for fiscal year 2026, which has been included and presented in the budget, and that's my motion.
Second that.
Any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, let's mix it up tonight. We'll start with Commissioner Stecklin on item number 11, Commissioner reports.
Okay, so since last report, Water Department report, 7 meter pits were repaired or replaced, 8 water leaks were repaired, 3 services were updated, 2 fire hydrants were repaired, and 2 new water taps were done. It's the last meeting of the month, so we've got some trivia tonight, so get ready. This is tough. It's all water trivia. So, question, how much water can a camel store in its hump?
All of it.
I will help you, all of it. Is it 10 gallons, 15 gallons, 20 gallons, or don't be ridiculous, they can't?
Don't be ridiculous, they can't.
They can't.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They store the water in the thing.
Yep. Crystal.
Did someone call on you?
Probably come up to the podium.
Well,
Not now.
considering that Terrence had to make copies in the treasurer's office of this report, I'm thinking that he might have gotten
Nope,
a
that's common sense.
Okay. Well, the answer is no, they can't, because they don't store water in their hump, it stores fat. So you win the
Where do
goldfish.
they store the water?
Take one and give the rest back.
That's not on here, so don't go any deeper. But would you like to expound on that?
I think it has something to do with their blood vessels. They have water.
Yeah.
Does a camel have more than one stomach, like a cow?
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. You're the camel expert.
I am not the camel expert.
Okay, next.
We'll look that up for next week. Okay, number 2. We know that our adult body is made up of 60% water. Which body part has the highest percentage of water? Is it your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your skin, or your brain? Highest percentage.
Highest percentage.
I'm going to go with the brain.
You're going brain?
Yeah.
Okay. Brain.
Skin.
Skin. Okay. Jeff? Brain. The answer is your lungs.
Oh.
Okay, so lungs are 83% water, kidneys are 79, brain is 73, heart is 73, and skin is 64.
Wow.
So there you go.
We learned something tonight.
Is this thing on the bottom, Terrence, coming up? The pancake breakfast?
I just see those signs everywhere, so I don't know.
I think that wasn't that last,
Pancake?
wasn't this past weekend?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
So hope you all attended. So I'm not gonna read that one.
They were good, too.
These are little tricks they put on. It had the same thing happen last time. There's something that already happened. The Easter egg hunt. I'm like, no, that's already done. That's all I got.
Okay, Commissioner Barwick?
I don't have anything.
Commissioner Patton?
Everything that we had been going on, we covered tonight. I would like to personally thank our staff down in the treasurer's office and Cody and anybody else, everybody else that put this budget together. It's always a difficult forecast to make, but I think we're getting it refined every year for the most part.
Okay. Commissioner Webb?
Yes, we off to a good start on the spring cleanup. We're past week 1, and we filled 3 of the large dumpsters, so we've got good response on that. So, still working on brush from the ice storm and the other storms that's happened since then. So it continues to be an item to complete. Street repairs continue on in Summerfield, which is mostly concrete work on that. Working on the sidewalks on Jefferson Street. Grass is growing. We're mowing a lot right now, so we are running a crew in those spring cleanup areas for any limbs that are brought out to the curb. So you might keep an eye out for that. All streets have been surveyed as far as the asphalt maintenance program, so we're waiting on the engineer's estimate right now. So hopefully we have a letting on that here in the near future. That's all I have.
Okay, I'll give a short report. I may have to ask Cody's help on a couple of things. So we are getting close to completion on Boynton Street's renovation. Matter of fact, I got an email today about scheduling, I guess, the new electric meter that has to be, we've got 400 amp service coming in there. That's new. Obviously, it's got electricity now, but a new 400 amp service, I think. And so that they're finally talking to us about setting that transform. Is that right? Is that what we were waiting on? Was that transformer?
We're waiting for the interior.
Right. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. The electrical box. So clearly, that's getting closer to being complete. If you guys haven't been down there, please make a point on doing that. Senior Citizen Center is also going really well. It's starting to look really nice on the outside. Inside's even better. New flooring, a lot of new drywall inside of there, new doors, light fixtures and such. And so that was much, much needed. If you'd been in there in the past, it was in need of some updates. And these are all functional, not just aesthetic, so I'm proud of that. So if you guys have an opportunity to squeeze by there, please do so. Cody, you got anything else in our departments to update?
I just got one event coming up this Saturday is the Union Street Art Fair.
Yeah.
Primarily it had been in that grass lot behind Union Street Arts, but this year they've asked to move it up to the square. You'll see that on Saturday, utilizing the center circle and then most of the alleyways off of the square, including Print Alley over here next to us. So a lot of vendors up here. I think maybe as many as 20, maybe even more than that. Live music all day. Should be a great event. And then Saturday night, West Frankfort High School is actually hosting their prom in downtown Marion, and the promenade will be on the square Saturday evening. So 2 events coming up this Saturday.
I was proud to host our own promenade for the first time in many years, right here back on the square.
Very glad to see that.
Yeah, I was too. So, okay, anything under miscellaneous to come to the council for the good of the city from commissioners? Carmen, got anything?
Yeah, I do got one thing.
Okay.
About the street department over there on Court Street, Court Boyd.
Yeah.
You know, when you're coming here, you turn south. You turn left. Somebody can move a line back there for when those any trucks coming this way trying to go, has to shoot across and come back. Because they're not, that white line, they need to stop further back.
Okay.
If you're a vehicle, you can't make that turn.
Yeah. I think, not to speak out of turn, but I think that intersection has been looked at multiple times for an improvement there. Widen the radiuses, make it easier to get around, because that's a very tight intersection.
Just put a white line back and make the car stop, but that would be very.
Yeah.
Can we do that there since it's 37?
That's questionable. I don't think we can.
We can or cannot?
Cannot. They are studying that intersection.
Yeah.
Right now, if you've been in that area in the last month, you've seen surveyors checking elevations and things. They're getting ready, IDOT is getting ready to redesign that entire intersection. I believe that construction project will happen next summer.
We'll see if there's anything in the meantime we can do to that, but that's an IDOT controlled intersection. I understand. Barrett, got anything? Lance? Chief? Wendy? Cody? How about you, young man? Okay. Anybody have a need for an executive session this evening? Okay, hearing no need, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I would second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stepland.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Okay. Thank you all.